Welcome to Transmission. Today I'm talking with eCoin, a credit card and debit card company. Thanks a lot for coming on today's guys.
Thanks, Leo. It's a
Hi.
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great to
Great,
be
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm also happy to announce that eCoin is going to be sponsoring the next few transmission shows, so I'd really like to thank them. And today we're going to talk a little bit about their company and what they're about. So, Dimitri, how did
Hi,
you
Theo.
Hi. How did you get into Bitcoin, and what previous projects have you been involved with?
Well, first of all, it's a great pleasure to be here to talk to you guys and to you, Theo. Basically, if we start with my previous background, I have been working in consulting industry for 12 plus years, and then um, I started studying in London. So I moved to London, and with a classmate, we set up a new company called Peltrade. It was a company acting as a wholesale within renewable energy market. And a year ago, I was introduced to Bitcoin and blockchain technology. I didn't know anything about that, but I found it extremely interesting, and I was impressed very much of the technology of the blockchain, of the whole idea, etc. We started researching a lot about this, and yeah, started thinking what can be done here, how can we contribute to the industry, and eventually we came up with the idea of eCoin.
Okay, great. How about you, Georgie? How did you get into Bitcoin, and what other projects were you involved in before eCoin?
Before Ecoin, I was involved with quite a few industries and projects, really very wide range from extreme tourism to production to aviation, where I still am involved to a certain extent. And then we met with Dmitry at the business school, CAS Business School in London. And after graduation, after having some downtime because it was quite a tough 2 years, we were talking, and Dmitry mentioned he was involved in this new exciting startup, and it just sounded very interesting to me, and I was ready for a new challenge, so I decided to, do a lot of research and jump on board. So it was rather quick, rather random decision, which seems to have been a good one.
Okay, great. Excellent. And Tim, how did you get into Bitcoin, and what other projects were you involved in before eCoin?
Yeah, I think, first got involved in Bitcoin around 2011, kind of real early, and I kind of bought early and sold early. I was kind of one of those people, and obviously I kept following it, and obviously with the big spike rise in 2013, I kind of really got back involved with it, and just started learning more about it, more than just the price, about more the technology. And actually, I've been kind of really involved the last 2 years. I had my own startup that didn't really go so well in the early on in the space, and I've also worked on projects like Get Gems. I've recently just left my last startup, Block Verify, and I've been with the eCoin guys for the last 2 months. So.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, there's a lot of different startups, in the Bitcoin community, and there are a lot of different segments. There's decentral apps, there are hardware companies, there's mining companies, there are Bitcoin exchanges. There's a lot of different segments in the community. So you guys have decided to get into, the Bitcoin credit card, debit card industry. Why go into that industry specifically? What drew you into that idea, Dimitri?
Well, it's a very interesting question. Basically, yeah, when we started, we were thinking about what basically people who are involved in bitcoins, what else what they need here, how we can improve the experience, etc., etc. Because at that point we thought that using bitcoins were very complex, and we just found out the very big issue with Bitcoins. So essentially, people who had Bitcoins as investments or as a payment for services, or just a part of a remittance process, basically there was a problem for them to spend Bitcoins, because there are not so many people that are keen to basically deal with exchanges, because it takes time, and it requires a certain level of skills, etc. And we thought that there should be a solution where we can essentially merge existent infrastructure with a Bitcoin infrastructure. And that's why we came up with the idea of a debit card.
All right. Do you want to add anything to that, Georgie, or do you pretty much agree?
Dmitry pretty much covered it. So we looked, as always with any market, you need to look at the main problems that the market has and then trying to solve them. So the main problems we saw with Bitcoin were its complexity. So it's not something for an average Joe. You have to have some IT skills to use it. And second thing is the lack of places where you can actually spend it. And because all of us in this industry want to move it forward, it needs adoption, and we all need to work towards speeding up this adoption. Because at the moment, I'm sure you will agree, it's not even at the early adoption stage. It's just the very first movers are involved in it. So to make this process to move faster, we decided we need to concentrate on the complexity and on the absence or difficulty of absence of places to spend it, or difficulty of this whole process. Bitcoin is a currency, and one of the major functions of a currency is a means of exchange. So if people just stick to their coins, dollars, rubles, whatever it is, and if it doesn't circulate, it's not a real currency, and it's gonna disappear with some time. And to make it easy for people to spend it, we saw merging the existing infrastructure in finance, such as debit cards, which is a very familiar thing to everyone, to an average Joe, I would say, with the more complex Bitcoin infrastructure. And technically speaking, when you have a debit card like this, you don't really have to know much about Bitcoin. You don't really have to open an exchange, an account with an exchange, provide all your personal details, deal with bank transfers, etc. It makes the whole process of spending Bitcoin a lot easier. It's not the ultimate means, and we're sure that as time passes and more companies start accepting Bitcoin, adoption grows, and debit card as such may become not such a necessary tool. But as a temporary solution, it works very well, and we hope that it will help drive further adoption of Bitcoin, making it easier and allowing people to spend Bitcoins not with 100,000 merchants worldwide, which is just a funny number these days, but with 30 million merchants that accept Visa. So you can physically go and buy yourself a coffee anywhere you want,
Okay,
not
well,
just in a number of shops in London.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that infrastructure already exists, so you're just kind of, we're using that infrastructure and adding Bitcoin to the mix. Tim, can you tell us, where is the company based, and what are the KYC AML requirements if I want to use eCoin cards?
We're based out of London, but I think Georgia or might be better suited to answer the question about the KYC policies.
Yeah, KYC, absolutely. Basically, KYC is done by the card issuing bank, not exactly by eCoin, because eCoin is well, I don't like really the word intermediary, but we put together the Bitcoin infrastructure with the existing one, and it's the bank who is regulated, and it's the bank who can officially perform the KYC approval. We as a Bitcoin company are not yet regulated, although we do see regulation coming, and we're not afraid of it. We're actually thinking it's going to be a benefit to us, because as regulation comes in, a lot more trust comes into the market, and a lot more people will be not so cautious about Bitcoin, because at the moment, I'm sure you would agree, some are still a bit concerned about it with all the rumors, with all the bad press around it. So once regulation is there, it will improve. Because we know that regulation is going to come in one form or another, we want to be prepared for it, and that's why we want to be sure that any existing or even potential KYC and AML regulations are met and followed, despite the fact that we don't really have to do that now. So it's done at the bank's end. What we do is just automatically collect the documents from the customers and forward them to the bank. And there are two options for every customer, and that's one other benefit of eCoin. If you're happy with the lower limits, which are, well, there's a whole number of different limits, but the core one is how much you can load onto your card before it stops accepting any more money. And for a US dollar card, it's $2,500 for the lifetime of the card. If you're happy with that limit, you don't have to provide anything, any documents, just your name and address where you receive the cards. That's it. You comply with regulations. Your limits are low. Use it, and when you're done, you're free to order another card. If you want to increase your limits, if you're spending much more money than that, then there is an option for you to upload your documents, copy of ID and passport and proof of address, and then the bank verifies you, and then you become officially verified, your account is upgraded, and your limits become really, really high. It will take a bit of time to talk about all the limits, but just a few examples. It allows you to withdraw up to $2,000 in cash per day. That's just cash, and your online spend is unlimited, and you can load up to $2,500 onto the card every day. So this is quite a substantial amount. Not very many people spend more than that.
Okay, great. Well, that sounds reasonable. That if I just want to use it for something small, I'm not required to send you guys a lot of documents. So just to summarize, if I want to, get an eCoin card, I just send some Bitcoin to my eCoin account, and as soon as enough confirmations are through, I say, okay, I want a USD card, and then I can load that card from the eCoin wallet. I just press load, and then I have the funds, and that's it. I've just provided my name, address, email, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to provide any documents to get started with a small amount, right?
No, you don't. You only have to provide the documents if you choose to, if you want to increase the limits, and you can do it throughout the process. So you can already be using your card happily and enjoying all the benefits. By the time you reach the limits, that's the time when your documents are required to get verified and for the account to be upgraded. Up until you're happy to use it. Another thing which we introduced quite recently is the virtual card, which eliminates your waiting time whatsoever. You don't even have to wait for the plastic card to arrive to you in mail. Basically, you order it, you receive it by email, the details of the card by email in a few seconds, and with Bitcoin straight away and start using it there online or link it to any app in your mobile phone, which basically eliminates any waiting time. And then if you decide to upgrade to a plastic card, you can do that later on. If you decide to upload your documents, you can do that later on, but it's available to use just there, just now.
All right. Dimitri, have you guys thought about adding any altcoins to be able to load up your card? I mean, right now I can send Bitcoin over, and then you guys have a ticker that displays the value of Bitcoin currently, and then if I press load, then whatever Bitcoin I would load to my card would be loaded at that price. Have you thought about doing something similar for Bitcoin or Ethereum or another bigger altcoin?
Yes, of course, and several customers asking us for this option, but at the moment, so what we're gonna do is to kind of send out a survey asking customers what type of altcoins they're using in everyday life, and just asking whether it's important for them and whether they do need it at the moment. And if yes, if there's a certain number of people that are willing to deal with altcoins, so I don't think it would be a problem for us to add it, certainly.
Okay. I have another question in regards to the Bitcoin ticker. So is the price for a Bitcoin that you guys are using? Of course, you know the market is kind of segmented into a lot of different exchanges, and there can be a price range between the exchanges. How do you guys calculate the price for the eCoin card for the Bitcoin price?
If we were to answer the question in detail, we would have to shoot you first, probably, or at least get you to
Is
sign
it
an NDA.
okay?
But being serious, it's a combination of exchange rates that we use. It's not linked to any one particular exchange. And our philosophy is what you see is what you get. Basically, the rate you see on your screen, you don't really have to know where it comes from, because it doesn't really come from any particular exchange. But what you see on your screen is exactly the amount you get on your card.
Okay, great. So it's some kind of average or some kind of method that you guys have used. All right.
And
Yeah, I noticed that because I was trying to figure out what exchange is this price coming from, and I thought, okay, they must have a way of calculating a weighted average or something like that. So okay, that's a good way to do it, I think.
We started with one exchange, but then we realized it's not the most efficient way forward, and now we're using a combination.
Excellent. Okay, are there any shops online or brick or mortar shops that you guys work together with or plan on working together with that would give me a discount if I use my eCoin card especially?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, Dmitry. Yeah.
all right, so basically it's a very interesting question, and we think we certainly will do this in the future. At the moment it's unavailable yet, and again, it's probably going to be just a part of the survey. And if customers say, and we're basically going to ask customers, when do you use your cards in this, certain shops or whatever it can be. So basically, if say a certain proportion of them say we'd like to go to use our cards for this service shop or anything else, we certainly will do our best to add this feature to our platform. So and talk to this guy saying that we've got a certain number of potential customers. Is there any way to give us a discount that we can basically redistribute to our customers?
Okay.
At the moment, just to add, at the moment,
Yes.
we would probably be more suitable for owners of such shops or employees of such shops who get. We're talking about shops now, places that accept Bitcoin. Our card could be another alternative to whatever means they're using at the moment to cashing out their Bitcoins they receive for their goods and services. So it doesn't have to necessarily go to a bank. Our card could be quite a solution for small and medium businesses in that domain. You receive Bitcoins for your whatever you're selling, and then if you want to keep that money in Bitcoin, fine. If you want to convert it into fiat currency, you can do that straight away with your card, without having to have a bank account, which is quite important for some small businesses.
You noticed an increase of usage during any different times? For example, during the recent situation in Greece, or any other times where you saw a big increase of usage of the cards?
Definitely, Greece was one big spike when we saw quite a number of people order cards, and for a certain period of time, Greece was our #2 country in terms of geography of card orders. Also, in terms of using the card itself, not the card orders, we see that every spike of Bitcoin price, as it goes up, we see a spike of withdrawals. And funny enough, it seems like people like to party, so before the weekend we see bigger card load volumes as well.
All right, that's great. Okay, you guys are going to offer shares on Bank the Future upcoming. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you offering? Why did you choose Bank the Future as the platform? And how much do the shares cost, and what do I get? Dmitry or George?
Yeah, I can start. Georgi can add some notes as well. So basically, a platform called the Bank to the Future So basically, it's a crowdfunding platform where lots of businesses somehow related to blockchain, they can basically raise some funds, and investors, they're like a community of investors, and they're quite familiar with the blockchain, with the Bitcoin, and I think they can appreciate our service easier compared to any other investors, because some investors still think Bitcoin is too early, it's too too uncertain, etc. So yeah, so we decided to work with this platform, Bank to the Future. We're offering about 10% of company equity and at valuation of 2.5 million pounds. And so basically, there are two types of investors. If an investor invests less than £5,000, basically they will receive a type B shares, so which means that it's investment shares, so they don't have any voting rights. If they invest 5,000 and more, they receive Class A shares, plus they have an opportunity to have an interview with us and apply for a role of non-executive a director, a non-executive director.
Okay, great. So is there a special offer for user if I buy shares? Is there some kind of special offer or different? So currently you have an affiliate program, but if I buy shares, do I get a different affiliate program or any special privileges on the eCoin platform?
Yes, what we're going to offer to customers, to our existing customers who already take part in the affiliate program or who are considering it, those who do invest, apart from getting a free eCoin card for themselves or for their friends or relatives, they will get 50% more on income on the program. So they will make 50% on top of what they would make just by being an affiliate partner.
Okay, excellent. Did you want to add anything to that, Tim, or have any comments about the offering on Bank the Future?
Yeah, I think we really, we're a community-driven product, and we really want users. I mean, we have I think the largest user base of all the Bitcoin cards out in the market, and we want to really give something back to them. So I think we're trying to offer something, especially our affiliate program has been very successful. So I think we really want to encourage those to to invest in us as well, so to give it back to them.
Okay, great. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap things up. If you have any final words about eCoin or about Bitcoin in general, then let us know. Dmitry, any final words?
Yes, please. Well, actually, first of all, again, it was a great pleasure to talk to you, Theo. Thank you very much for having us here. And yes, we just would like to say all our potential and existing customers that we work hard every day in order to improve the service and add some more interesting feature. We've got lots of interesting ideas, and as I said, we work hard to improve our service every day.
Okay, great. Georgie?
Yes, to add to Dmitry's points, obviously, yes, the key for us is to maintain the product as it is and improve the quality all the time, quality of what we offer, the features of the card, and the level of customer service, which we hope we are we're trying to maintain it, and we hear a lot of positive feedback on that. Although obviously there will always be someone unhappy, but it's about the proportion of happy people to unhappy. About the crowdfunding campaign, we thought there are two ways there, basically, get an institutional investor, a big fund, or to go crowdfunding. Why we think crowdfunding is important for us is because that's where the wide majority of users of our service are, and we think that really it should be them to A, benefit from this, and to B, help us develop, help us go in the right direction. That's why we're offering this opportunity to existing client base and to other people who are willing to take part in the crowdfunding campaign first, and then we might consider going for institutional investment, at the next bigger round, whatever it is. And where this money is going to go is A, product development, and B, because we've been growing so fast, it's becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the transaction volume. Obviously, working capital is a big thing in every business, and in transaction business, it's especially so. So about 50-50 split product and service development and working capital, which is, by the way, quite risk-free, and people can ask questions here, or Bank of the Future will explain why. Yeah, basically that's where the money is going to go, all into product development and working capital.
Okay, great. Tim?
Well, thanks again for having us on, Theo. But yes, we're working real hard to continue improving our service. I think right now we have the #1 card on the market, but we're striving to for perfection right now. So. But yeah, we're just trying to get it out to the users and just be able to spend Bitcoin everywhere is kind of what we want to do and what we offer people. So.
Okay, yeah, well, I want to thank you guys for coming on. I also want to thank eCoin for sponsoring this and the next few episodes of Transmission. Check out the site. I have tested out the virtual card, and it's pretty easy to use. Like I said, you just send Bitcoin to your eCoin account, and then you have a Bitcoin balance, and then when you want to load, then you buy a card. Virtual card costs $3. The U.S. dollar one does. You pay that in Bitcoin. Then one time, then you have the USD virtual credit card, and then you just load it. So if you send 0.1 or 1 Bitcoin or whatever to your eCoin account, then you just press load card. Then you've got, let's say you have 1 Bitcoin, the current value is 240, then you hit load, then you have $240 on your eCoin account, and you can use it online with the virtual card anywhere where the credit card is accepted. So that's pretty convenient, and it works pretty quickly. So that's definitely pretty cool. So definitely check that out. Check out their offering on Bank to the Future. Thanks a lot for watching. If you guys have any questions for eCoin, you can hit them up on Twitter. I'll put the link to their Twitter in the description. You can also comment below, and we will get back to you. Also, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to the World Crypto Network, and also share this video with all your friends. Also, I want to give a shout out to altcoinpress.com that support Transmission. Thanks a lot for watching, and talk to you next time.